So I feel like this kind of topic of conversation has been coming up quite a lot recently, either from other actors in auditions asking me what my kind of journey was to get into acting and how I got into acting, or from people who are looking to get into the industry and they're like, how have you got to the point where you're now being seen in professional audition rooms? And I feel like it's such a confusing thing because everyone has such a unique, different pathway, and I feel like my route as well is quite different to a lot of other people's who I meet. So where did my interest in acting kind of start? I feel like it's sort of difficult to pinpoint because I was quite shy, maybe I would say, as like a young child, but I was interested in being involved in like even drama activities that we did in primary school, but I just didn't really know a route for me to be involved in it. Like, I loved the sound of music as a child, but I just didn't really know much about the industry, obviously, because you don't really know when you're a small child if you're not brought up in it, maybe. So I auditioned for lots of the different school plays, but there was one year where I didn't really want to be involved in the plays they were doing, so I auditioned for plays that my mum found that were like Christmas shows, and I feel like that really sparked my interest because it was an adult sort of professional cast, and then there were lots of different teams of children. I got to miss school to do school's performances, so I felt really cool. I was like, oh sorry guys, I'm just gonna go do a little show. So unfortunately I won't actually be in these lessons, but this was when I was like 12, 13, 14 kind of age. So I did that for 2 years, and it was so interesting to get to observe all the adult actors do about 10 shows. I think my team did 10, 12, between that kind of thing every year, and then there were like 4 teams of children. I feel like Christmas shows feel so magical and exciting, and there's such an energy around that kind of time, and getting to go every Saturday and rehearse was just so fun to be able to sing, dance, act. So I really liked that, and I feel like that taught me a lot, but it wasn't really acting classes because I didn't really do many acting classes. Like, I did GCSE drama and A-level drama, and I was blessed to get on with my teachers well and get on with my classes quite well. Like, I have such nice memories from that time, but I feel like a lot of the kind of drama in school has a lot of academic essay elements as well, and I feel like acting is such a competitive industry that in order to be able to grow you need to do other classes as well. And also I think sometimes the way that stuff's graded isn't exactly how you'd be assessed in the professional world. Like, I think you're assessed on your range of different skills you're demonstrating rather than necessarily like your acting and your where you fit a role. So I feel like it's a bit different, but I was humbled by some of my marks, which is fine because I feel like I took a lot away from doing drama in school. I feel like you hear a lot of people who can be quite successful in acting in the future who just, that's not reflected in their marks at school, and I think it's important to be honest about that, that like that is assessing on a different thing. Like, I think I got 9 out of 20 in one of them, which was like the lowest mark in my class. But I think, to be fair, I started out doing a lot more naturalistic kind of acting where you're not really showcasing a wide variety of different things, and it doesn't really align necessarily with the mark scheme criteria for academic drama. So I think that's fine, and I've still managed to be seen for like good professional work. I've been able to book jobs, I have an agent, and I've done all of that regardless of my 9 out of 20. People present acting as this mysterious thing, but actually if you work hard you can get much better at it. And I started doing classes quite late. I joined a youth theatre during COVID because there was not much to do, and like my mum found this online youth theatre and I just joined classes every single evening, and then I joined other online courses as well, so I was really doing at least one online acting class every evening alongside doing 4 A-levels and drama school auditions, so it was a bit crazy. But I started doing that at 17, and I feel like that's why I really learnt a lot. I went to Prime Youth Theatre, and before that I never even knew what a drama school was, which is why I think making these videos on here is so important to me, because I thought drama school was like a school that you did at school age. So like it was a shock to me to realise that that was actually a degree thing. And I also did a lot of different private coaching. Like I did private singing lessons, I still do them now, and I've done like 3-4 years maybe of acting coaching that I did every week, where I went to an acting coach, and I sort of became a lot more self-aware as an actor about like me as a person, my kind of strengths, the kind of exercises that work for me, the kind of exercises that don't, and a lot of the different bad habits that I could then get rid of. So I feel like that was useful for me at that point in time, and that's a good option. But some of them are really expensive and some of them are a lot less. Like I feel like there's such a big price range for that kind of thing. But I feel like at this point maybe I could address some of the things that I wish I could have known or could have done, because I think it's useful to be able to look back and tell people who may be a bit younger different things that they could do. Or like if you know any kids who are interested in acting, I would say get involved in acting classes earlier. There's lots of different acting classes that have agencies attached to them, so I know a lot of different people can get involved in acting and be working at a younger age if they're tied to the right class and have the right guidance around them. So I think that's useful. Doing extra work, I've worked on shows as an extra where there have been 9-year-olds working there, and I don't know, maybe that's controversial, but I feel like it depends on the children as well. But I think working at a young age, like I don't think it really feels too intense and too much like work, because they do get a lot of breaks and the rules are quite very strict actually for children working on set. But I feel like that would have been such a good learning experience, and I know a lot of the actors who are known now have people who were like family members who were in the industry who were able to get them those kind of opportunities. But I feel like a lot of my learning has just come from being on set, doing extra work, and also doing lots of different short films, music videos, and that kind of thing, and just getting experience being on set is really useful, because otherwise you're learning a lot of acting theory and then like the actual being on set can be quite overwhelming. Because I remember my first time doing a student film, I was so tense physically, and like I could use all of the kind of acting skills all I like, but the fact that I wasn't comfortable on the on-set environment read on screen, and that's not ideal and that's not what you want. So I then did a lot of other student films, and now I'm comfortable, I would say. Like maybe like there's always elements of being on set that could be new and a different kind of scene or a different type of like shooting something that might be a bit different. But I feel like generally I've done a lot of days on set now, like maybe like 60 over various different extra work, student films, music videos. So I feel like that's allowed me to learn about lots of different sets, and all these different sets and directors have different ways of filming stuff. So I feel like that's been really useful, and I feel like I wouldn't have invested as much time into doing that if I'd have got into drama school first year I auditioned. So I feel like everything truly happens for a reason, and you can find ways to make the most of any situation you find yourself in. Like I auditioned for drama school for a few years, but I genuinely think, like, believe the people when they say that like the years when you don't get into drama school and the ways that you find to learn about acting and train and do different projects and experience stuff is just so valuable and so useful. And I feel like it's been shaped and aligned with me in a way that I feel like maybe I would have struggled if I went to drama school straight away, because I'm not from London, and I feel like a lot of the people who go to drama school know London quite well. And I remember when I first did some kind of training with mostly London-based people, I found that quite overwhelming, being honest, because there's a lot of chat about north, south, east, west, and like London culture, and like it's like another country. There's like a culture divide between London and the rest of the UK, I feel. So combining that with being in a new training environment would overall, I think, feel potentially a little bit isolating and overwhelming. So I'm glad that I've been able to get used to the London environment. I've been to London quite a few times for like various different acting stuff and auditions, so being able to get used to being in London, get used to interacting with the London people and like breaking through the London culture divide and feeling like I still deserve a place there and I'm not on the outside just because I don't know about London, and owning that and owning the fact that I don't know everything about London is really helpful, because I feel like otherwise when I was younger I wouldn't have felt as comfortable with that and I would have allowed that to make me feel like I was on the outside of something. But I've trained at so many different places, done so many different one-off workshops, courses. Some standout things that I've done include I did 2 years at Nottingham's Television Workshop, which is just a place that I rave about. I absolutely loved it. It was set up, I think, by ITV maybe, to be a casting pool for like naturalistic TV acting. So there's not that many TV focused places, and I feel like the fact that I didn't go to drama school but then I've been able to find various different training places and projects that feel more aligned with me and I'm able to pick and choose what I do is really useful in owning my training and owning my process and finding out about myself as an actor and owning my career a bit more. I also auditioned a few years and then got into the National Youth Theatre, which I feel like having all these different names as well, like people who know the Television Workshop respect the Television Workshop, and the same with National Youth Theatre, and I feel like having the names is very valuable because it's something to chat about in audition rooms. When people see the names, they're like, oh, you've done this, I know whoever who's done that, or like they just know they've got a good reputation, so that's useful. And also it helps you get in the room in the first place. And I think just being in the industry over the past few years has allowed me to meet people who then invite me to audition for things again and again. And I've been on casting websites, paid for membership for stuff like Mandy, and I've also done 2 years of part-time training, so I've been able to join Spotlight and get seen for jobs on there. I've managed to learn about the industry through interviewing people on here and going to various different industry talks and doing various different classes and learning from lots of different people in the industry, and that has equipped me to be able to upskill myself as an actor, but also to be able to get my agent, which I'm so glad that I have an agent now, and I feel like that has been just very useful to be able to have an agent. And I feel like lots of people say, how are you getting seen for auditions so often? But I feel like when I first left sixth form, I wasn't really being seen all that often, but like I feel like it's more constant now, which I'm very blessed to be in that position. And I feel like the more people who I meet and the more actors I meet and follow and network with on Instagram, the more castings I know about and the more different work that I know about that I can get myself involved in. So I feel like that's one of the ways that I find out about audition opportunities and short film castings and stuff like that. And also, like, when you meet people, sometimes even if the role doesn't work out, they'll invite you to audition again. There's various different companies that sometimes do general meetings with people, and then they might invite you to be seen for specific shows and stuff like that, and then that gets you known within various different spaces. And I feel like just the more you're in the industry, the more eventually you end up just getting used to the ideas of various different ways you can be seen. Like, I feel like it's hard to pinpoint exactly, and some of the auditions come through my agent as well, but I feel like it just takes time to meet lots of people and be in lots of audition rooms to then be able to be in lots more audition rooms. I feel like it's just something that happens over time if you keep putting yourself out there. And I feel like getting into audition classes as well, like they were always telling us that like it's competitive to get in there and we've done well and like we're all capable of booking professional work if that's what we want to do. Like, it's hard to book work regularly, but we're all capable of booking a job. So I feel like that really builds your confidence as well. So I think if it's something you want to do, there are definitely ways where you can do it. And I think any kind of pathway that doesn't really work out for you, like if you don't get into a certain school or class or project, I feel like trust the process, because I feel like when I look back, I'm so grateful that I get into the classes and places that are the right fit for me, and it's my path. Like, I get into stuff and get offered stuff that's right for me, and I won't want to get offered stuff that's not right for me, because that's a big hassle and not worth it. So there's so much more that could happen ahead of me, because I am 22 and I have a whole life and a whole career ahead of me. So if you want to follow along with that and support my journey, then please do subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you have any experiences as well that you'd like to share in the comments about your journey into acting, or any questions that you have, then please do leave them below. I really like to talk to people in the comments, so please do leave me a comment, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!